In this video, we're going to talk about where your value actually comes from. Does it come from vanity or does it come from your humanity? And we're also going to dissect the internal-external struggle of validation that almost everybody deals with. Actually, it is kind of validation when you really understand this concept, and it'll change everything for you. So today's video is going to be a relatively short one. Relatively, it's always relative, but it's going to be a conversation and awareness around where we source our value from, vanity or humanity. And there is internal value and there's external value. I'm going to start with external value. Most of us are programmed to source our value from external vanity. Now, the definition of vanity is the excessive attention on appearance or achievements. The excessive attention on appearance or achievements. So when we focus on appearance or achievements, we are appealing to our vanity, which comes directly from our ego. Now, it's nobody's fault. It's just that at one point in time, if this relates to you, and for almost all of us it does, because it's in society's programming. Once upon a time, we were taught that we are valuable if we look good and if we perform well. Now, what looks good could have a lot of variation, obviously, between men and women and age and different parts of the country or different religions or cultural inputs or whatever. But the idea of an impressive appearance, really impressive is the operating variable on both of them. Do you impress people with your appearance or do you impress people with your performance? If you do, then you're stuck in vanity. And the problem with that is vanity is not very strong of a motivator. It's not a very strong motivator at all. And it's extremely temporary. You've heard me talking a lot about head versus heart and intellect versus soul and spirit and your mind versus your body. And this is another one of those dichotomous conversations. Vanity is what's important to your ego. Your ego desires to impress people, listen to this, to preserve your current self-image. So if you have a self-image, which we all do, and we have a bunch of self-images kind of wrapped up into one huge one, we're kind of like one of those I forget what they're called, like a mosaic, right? We got this one big self-image, but then if you look closer, you got a bunch of little tiny memories that we've stored along the way and little distinctions. But for the most part, we have a self-image. And we've got a few major self-images, like a leader or a winner or an achiever or a loser, a dummy. You know, we've got some major chunks in our self-image. And here's the thing. The ego is designed to protect those self-images. Even the self-images that don't seem to be supportive of us, the ego would rather protect what already is than birth something new. So the ego is looking for vanity measures based on appearance or achievement to protect self-image. And the thing is, the image that the vanity measures is external, meaning the perspective is from somebody else's vantage point. So the ego tries to protect, my ego tries to protect your image of me or your perspective of my self-image. So the ego is constantly trying to protect and preserve what already is. That's vanity. We see this all the time in social media and on the internet. We source our value and validation as a person by other people telling us they like us, by other people agreeing with our opinions, essentially through other people's judgments. But here's the thing, the real true value will never be found in vanity. You'll never be driven by vanity fuel enough to overcome your inner obstacles. because vanity fuel is just simply not that powerful. And it changes all the time, because as soon as I impress you, I need to impress the next person standing right beside you. And then I need to impress the people that are behind you. And then I need to impress the people that are behind me. And I need to impress all of these external perspectives, which is so exhausting. But your humanity lives in only one place, inside you. That's why we talk so much about healing your relationship to all the things around you. Healing your relationship with yourself, changing the way you look at the world so it seems like the world changes. Humanity is who you really are. It's the messiness inside of your human person, inside of your human experience. That's where all the courage is that we're looking for. We tend to source our courage from the idea that if we do things right, if we're perfect enough in our appearance and our performance, then nobody will dislike us. So we think courage is about improving to a point where we won't fail. That's not courage. Courage is about being willing to be human, being willing to be messy, being willing to be flawed, being willing to be imperfect, and going anyway. Don't try to overcome your imperfections or get rid of your imperfections. Take them with you. Your imperfections are actually where you find your stability. Now, that doesn't make any sense to the intellectual mind that's driven to preserve self-ego or self-image of ego. But that's actually where you can source your stability. That you're going to take your imperfections, and your power actually comes from your imperfections. So that you're not afraid of disappointing other people. You're more afraid of disappointing yourself by not being yourself. That's the deep disappointment of the soul. The shallow disappointment of the ego is disappointing others. So we essentially prostitute our soul so that other people will approve of us. And prostitution for approval is not the recipe for happiness. So just be you. And other people's value in you is actually found in your humanity also, which is not what the ego tells us. Other people's trust in you will be found in your humanity. Other people's love in you will be found in your humanity. Other people's attraction in you is in your humanity. Other people's following of you will be in your humanity. Other people's loyalty, other people's everything that you want is actually found in your humanity, not in your vanity. Don't prostitute your soul for approval of your ego. It's not a happy life. Now, if you like this video, take a look at that one, and I'm going to break down how you can start a successful coaching business from home. There are 9 ingredients that I'm going to share with you, and if you don't follow these 9 ingredients, you can't win. You just can't win. There are so many people trying to shortcut their success and not doing it foundationally.